Right now, I'm wearing my Rolex Oyster Perpetual, probably the most expensive watch in my collection, but it's definitely not the most iconic watch I've ever worn. In fact, one of the most iconic watches that I've ever worn, I had when I was a teenager, and it looked a lot like this. The Casio F91W is where a lot of us started our watch collecting journey, and it has been an icon, a legend on the market for 35 years. And to mark that 35-year anniversary, they have released a sleeker, more stylish F91W. But is this new version the newest icon from Casio, or have they ruined a legend of the market? Let's find out. Hi guys, my name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. We are back to our roots today, reviewing a Casio, a £20 wonder of the market. I picked this one up to show you guys because I think it's a very interesting release from Casio. It's the first time that they've released an update to the F91W. This watch could genuinely be considered a perfect piece of everyday carry. And speaking of EDC, today's sponsor is EKSTER. I've worked with them before and they offer some incredible wallets, and we'll get to them a little later on. But for now, let's have a look at this beautiful little Casio. The F91WB is definitely a release that brings that old classic from the 80s into the modern day. I definitely think that the more refined and elegant look to this piece will make it a more stylish option than its predecessor. I was able to grab this one from Argos for £20. I've seen them elsewhere with massive price gouges. Please do not be going and paying $50 for one of these. Just wait for the prices to settle. Now, some other reviewers have referred to this piece as Casio dumbing down and making that F91W boring. But in my eyes, they've added a real killer to their lineup with this piece. This F91W is definitely the go-to for retro and vintage digital watch enthusiasts. That's for many different reasons, including the design. I don't think that the design is outdated, but that being said, it is very 90s. For me, it's the equivalent of a big city being sat next to a small town. For instance, every time I go through Birkenhead, I feel like I've stepped back into the 90s. The casing is still very much the exact same as the older model. The changes all come in that bezel design. As mentioned, it's definitely more refined and it's minimalistic to a point. They've also brought some fun new colours to the table with this 35th anniversary. You can pick it up in a black, a blue, a grey, or for the first time in 35 years, a white. Funnily enough, that white option would be the perfect accompaniment to the EKSTER wallet that they have sent me. It has all of their usual fantastic features: easy access to your cards, spots for you to slide in your cash, an RFID blocker plate, and for this new option, it's got a better loom shot than most bloody Pagani's. They've also sent me their latest Apple tracker card. This enables you to keep track of your wallet through your phone, and if you misplace your phone, you can send a notification to your phone from the wallet so you can find it. They're linked in the description, and I really appreciate them sponsoring today's video. If you fancy yourself one of these or you want to look at some of their other designs, head down there. You'll love them. Aside from their redesign to the bezel, this watch is pretty much the exact same internals as the classic, which definitely has some drawbacks. And don't you worry, I'll get to them. It is packed with that classic easy to read digital display, as well as that so many features that you'd never expect to have when spending £20. 12 and 24-hour displays, an alarm feature, a stopwatch, 7 years battery life, day, date, month, automatic calendar, as well as the usual LED light for darker situations, and I'll show you that later on. It still has that smaller profile that was pretty much universal to everyone throughout the 90s and coming into the early 2000s. It's a very easy to wear watch, even if it is still that usual plastic feel on wrist. The real shame about this watch is that Casio haven't fixed the downfalls of the first F91W. The water resistance is still a mere 50 meters as it relies on those 4 screws on the back plate, making it pretty much splash proof. As you can see, the LED light to this piece is still the exact same as the previous model. They haven't updated it, and that is a massive shame. But overall, I'm really happy that they have re-released this absolute classic piece. It just shows you that Casio are still the same brand that we absolutely love. Yes, they've made a few mistakes by not updating it a bit more. I'm not too happy that the new price is double the previous price, and it still has the same downfalls as the previous model, but it definitely 100% in my eyes has a really big spot on the market, and I think that we'll see a lot of these being sold. Maybe it's not the 3 million that the F91W sells each year, but I think that they are going to make a massive dent in that themselves. Thanks for watching today, guys. I really love reviewing a classic Casio. There's nothing much better than a little bit of fun on wrist for 20 quid, is there? And it's really nice to see where they're going with these reissues. I think it's a very fun and exciting time for Casio. I think the real question is this the one that you're going to be picking up in the future, or are you going to stick to your classics? Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.